quickly, how do you feel about the new additions on your defensive line?
I mean, I feel great about it. I mean, me and Dex, a lot of times have to take a lot of snaps, and I think this year we're gonna have a great rotation with, with those guys we just added, Ashawn and Nunez, and we trust those guys, and I don't think it's gonna be any type of drop off when the rotations start happening.
When you looked at what went on last year on your side of the ball, and you look at the run defense, what was lacking, and what do you think maybe is not lacking now?
It's hard to say what's not lacking now just because we haven't been in pads yet. I think we have been working a lot on fits so far, which is the one thing that we can work on when we're not in pads. And I think that's just a matter of what it was last year, honestly. Is just make sure that we're trusting the guy next to us, make sure that we're staying in the gap that we're responsible for, and trusting that the guy, in front of us, next to us, behind us is going to, fit his gap as well.
Is it possible that slightly fewer snaps for you and Dexter will help you be better? Because,
I mean, that's been the history of, football. So, D linemen are usually not taking 100% or 90% of snaps. And it's better to have a rotation, keep guys fresh. And, it's going to be fun that way when we're rotating guys and just beating up on offensive lines together. And, it's going to be fun.
What do you think the addition of Bobby does to the run defense?
Like I said, we haven't been in pads yet, so it's hard to see.
What do you think, knowing him as a player?
Yeah, knowing him as a player, I think he just applies a lot of good leadership. He's very vocal. He seems confident in himself and trusts himself. And I think that alone is a good presence on the defense, especially at linebacker. They have to be the quarterback of the defense, and he's been really good job at being vocal and speaking up, and he just really looks locked in and ready to go.
How was your neck?
It was good. I think during the season it was just hard for it to recover, just because every time I made a tackle, I would feel it, and it wasn't really going to go away until the season ended. So, I've had a few months off now since football, and I've been back in the weight room, and I haven't been feeling it at all. So I just, that's, now that I'm getting older, that is something that I have to pay more attention to, though, is just my recovery and my body.
So just rested, you didn't need anything like a surgery?
No, I didn't need surgery. I rested it, strengthened it, did a lot of shrugs and neck exercises and stuff like that to try to strengthen around it. But most of all, in the beginning, it just needed rest. The constant banging on it was just not letting it go away.
Did you wear any kind of extra padding or release Brian Cox style?
Probably not Brian Cox style, bro.
Anything like that? A roll? Can you do that?
Yeah, so actually near the end of the season, I started wearing a small type of roll that it was hard for me to get used to. I had to change it up a little bit in practice. Just because sometimes I'd get in my stance and try to look up, and it was restricting my vision. But I finally found that sweet spot of, something that's going to protect me when I make a hit, and something that I can also see in my stance. And I think I'm going to keep using that so that it just doesn't happen again.
When it is a back injury, you know the league. Is it scary? Maybe more so than other injuries.
It is a little scary. I think last year was also my first year ever missing a game. So I think that was hard on me. It was hard to sit on the sideline and see my team going at it when I wasn't able to help out, and it was hard that when I was trying to help and was going, it was still happening. But that's part of the game, and that's what we all sign up for, and we know that it's possibly going to happen at some point, and luckily it's happened later in my career than sooner, and luckily I also feel good right now, and I haven't been feeling it since I've been able to strengthen it and let it rest.
Leonard, what's Nacho's personality in the room like?
I've known Nacho for a while now. We went to the combine together, two old heads, and so I've actually known him for a while. He has a great personality. He's a very outgoing guy. He fits in our room perfectly. He fits in the defense perfectly, and you could tell he has some experience under his belt. There's a lot of times where not only is he helping out with the younger guys, we established that type of room where we hold each other accountable as vets as well. So, even though he's new to the team, he still sees stuff that he can help out on and will be vocal about it.
Which I remember his Zoom call, he really takes pride in stopping the run.
Yeah.
Does the D-line need at least one guy who really loves that part of the job?
I mean, hey, that's something that Coach Dre and D linemen always talk about, is you have to earn the right to rush the passer. And being a D lineman, stopping the run comes first, and you're not gonna be able to pass rush until you do that. So having a guy like him that's gonna be able to do that is good.
We know how close you are to Dex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, when did you learn about his contract? And what was your reaction to him? When you found out?
I forgot how exactly I seen it. I think I seen it online or something because he was obviously busy. Like he probably had to fly in and sign it and all that stuff. I remember that process. So it's like he probably got blew up a bunch. I didn't want to bother him at the moment. But when I finally found out, I mean, I was so excited, so happy for that guy. It was so deserving. And, I'm glad to see that he's able to continue his career here.
You pay for more dinners now?
Yeah, I mean, for a while, I was like big brother to him, and I was like taking care of the tabs and like inviting him over to my house and stuff like that. So like since the contract, I'm like, when you invite me over and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny.
2 or 3 times you've said, I'm old, it's late in my career. I mean, it had a look. You're 28. I mean, are you feeling older? Are you considering retirement? Or
I'm definitely not feeling older. We have this chart with our GPS trackers that like shows our like high-end speed and short 10-yard sprints and stuff like that. And I'm like, I pride myself in always being first on that list. You know what I mean? It's like I still have my explosiveness. I still have my power. Honestly, I feel like I'm knowing the game more, and I still have a lot more years in me. I just joke around about the age thing because this is a young team. You know what I mean?
Your cap hit, not really your problem or you're doing, is really high this year.
Mm-hmm.
Have they talked to you about it or talked about possibly doing something in the future? Is that something you'd be open to?
There hasn't been much talks about it this offseason. I'm obviously open to staying here. I think I have a good camaraderie with my teammates. I would love to keep playing with Dex. I would love to keep playing with these coaches that I've gotten to know. And, I'm also not one of those type of players that wants to bounce around team to team. And, I want to be able to be here and been through the grind and the struggle of being with the Giants, since I've been here and coming out on the good end and eventually getting a ring with them.
Leonard, staying here with this coaching staff, is there more comfort? Is there more fun that you can have because you actually know these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes a huge difference. I think that's something about the league that I had to get used to when I first came out of college is the constant changing of the coaches and the new building. And, that's kind of, you have to reestablish yourself almost every time that happens. And, now that we have this coaching staff, it's like, I feel like we've created a identity last year. And now we're coming in and just like knowing what it is. We know what type of coaches we have. We know what type of environment it is. We know what type of like camaraderie we have, and it just makes it like smoother going through all of this year.
Leo Dex was talking yesterday about how y'all can know what each other means without it saying something. You can kind of understand each other. When did that first start? And can you give us an example of maybe when we were on the same page?
I mean, it honestly just happened today, which is pretty funny. And it's funny that he said that, but Dex was like the first guy that hit me up when I got traded here. He reached out to me on Instagram, like sent me his number, and he told me that he was excited to have me on the team. When I finally met him, he told me that he watched my tape when he was in high school. Made me feel old. But I think ever since then I came into the building and he was the first guy that gave me that type of energy, and like since then we've been like really close. And there seriously will be times in the game where like if I feel the center is jumping hard on me or the guard setting deep, I can kind of like look at him and like we'll know to like run like a pick stunt or something like that. And I could seriously just look at him and he'll just like nod his head and we'll like know exactly what to do. And I think like having that type of chemistry goes a long way in the trenches.
What was it that happened today?
There was just like something we noticed about a player on the field, and we talked about it early on, and then it happened again, and I just looked at him, and he came up to me and was like, "Yeah," like he started talking about it. So it was a small detail, but that kind of builds the chemistry,